Hi everyone, my name is Vlad, and today I'm going to tell you about my kind of pet project. It's called PassKeep, and it is offline password manager. And that's like a little agenda for today. So the first part will be the product part, where I'm gonna tell about the problem, how did I find it, how like we validate and prove it, and then about MVP, and it's not model view presenter, it's a minimal valuable product, yeah. So then it's gonna be some little bit about tech part, my kind of journey in developing this product, and then I'm gonna like tell you where I'm today. So, you know, that question is how to find a problem for the startups. It seems like the most like common question in the internet from the startups. They're trying to solve these huge problems like you know, trying to aggregate all taxi riders or trying to like get all pictures in one place, right? And there is some methodologies how to do all of these like things. But what I would say, I'm kind of bad at solving other people's problems. So I was trying to find my own problem, and this is my problem. Actually, that's how I felt every time staying like in a grocery store in a line trying to find my password from my credit card. And especially when you have like 5 or 7 cards, that's just going crazy. And I felt like, oh, I'm just kind of stuck in all these people and they're gonna hate me, oh, I need to solve it somehow. And my first solution for that was like pretty straightforward. I just had a Google Keep and store all my password there, right? But that's not secure at all, and nobody really should do that. But that's how idea came to us. So like, yeah, let's solve this problem, and we built an MVP, which actually looked like just a list of passwords, where you could like tap on it and see the password, and where you can add the password. We spent about like 12 hours of work for that, and you know, it worked. And yeah, it had some fingerprint verification when you open it up, and it was kind of secure. Yeah, it's much secure than Google Keep. And after that, we just decided, like, yeah, let's share this application with the world and see if it goes well, right? I mean, that's so simple for you to create an Apple account and upload the application. So yeah, in total, as you see here, we spent about like 12 hours from the beginning to creating the first MVP product. And after that, we released in the App Store, we just realized, oh, we're making money actually. Like in a week, we got 3 in-app purchases, about in-app purchases. So by default, you could get like 3 passwords, and then you expand to like unlimited amount. And we're like, oh yeah, man, I'm getting rich, right? So like, yeah, I'm making a lot of money. So I should continue doing that. And that actually was like in the beginning of 2014, I think, and everything was written in Objective-C. And after that, this project became kind of like a pet project for me, where I was trying different things and different tools. At some point, I migrated to Swift. Yeah, at first it was like this nice massive view controller architecture, which everybody likes. Yeah, everything was in one view controller. Whew. Yeah, and after that I migrated to Swift. I used Viper because at some point of my life I liked it a lot. And you know, I wrote a lot of this boilerplate code, make it perfect with all these protocols and yeah, nice routers. It worked really great, but I spent about like, you know, 3 weeks, I would say every evening after work, I was like trying to do something there. And that was quite fun. And after that, I came into idea like, oh, I should automate everything. Like it should be like perfect when you just, you know, you do changes and you click a button and everything uploads to the internet and in the App Store. You don't really need to care about anything. And for that, I would say I spent like actually about a year, like every weekend or evenings, just doing some things, and it was perfectly automated. So I had like scan and gym when I had UI tests, actually, like the real UI test. Nobody really do that nowadays, I think. But yeah, so I had unit tests, and UI test took screenshots for me. Everything was framed in a proper like AOS frame. The descriptions and titles for the pictures was written. That was all the metadata collected and uploaded to App Store. Everything was fine. I was super happy. And at some point of time, the Flutter came here, and I like, oh, I should do everything in Flutter. And that was actually surprised me and kind of motivate me to have this talk, because I did it like in 3 days. I rebuilt the entire application, which I previously like spent years. And after that, yeah, I kind of spent some time on automation, and the fast lane helped a lot in that sense. But yeah, I'll go to that point. So first time I met Flutter in the beginning of last year. So when it wasn't like really released, and nobody really heard about that, but you know, it was like super fragile, looked like React Native. Nobody really like understand why we have like so many cross-platform tools. And I also didn't really like it that time, because you couldn't really do anything in Flutter at the beginning of 2018. But at the end of 2018, it seems like they did a lot of job just around Flutter, and community did a lot of things. Yeah, because it's open source, by the way. And in the December 2018, they released 1.0 version, and that was like just great. And everything worked fine. There's like nice animation, super fast development. They finally added support for Google Maps. Yeah. And one of the bad things about Flutter, it's still like really new and really like growing technologies. And there is not so many good components and libraries as we have in Swift and Objective-C, definitely. And during this small project, I actually built few components, like custom components, and I open sourced one of them. This is how application looks today. So there is like login screen where you authenticate with a finger. Then it's the password screen you've seen before, and it shows you like your password for the 3 seconds. And yeah, that's how you can add the password. And everything built on Flutter right now. So, and that's one of examples. When I had a native application, I used a really cool library for the passcode screen. It's called Smile Lock, I think. And when I came to building the Flutter app, I just realized, oh, there is no library for that. And like, I have to do it manually by myself, actually. And like, okay. And I just did it, like in 1 day, basically. And it was super great and simple. Yeah, I open sourced that. There is link to the article on Medium just describing this thing. And yeah, that's why it doesn't play. Oops, sorry. You don't see the great animation, but there is a great animation. There is a nice tool the Flutter integrated with. It's called 2dimension.com. And with that animation, with that tool, you could build like a really, really rich animations using, you know, the bone system. You could like animate characters if you want to. The people even build games with that tool and Flutter. Like, whoa, crazy. Yeah, so I have a really like limited amount of time today, but what I wanted to achieve is, if you're interested to listen about Flutter more, just reach me out on Facebook, and yeah, I would prepare some like maybe bigger talk about that. And yeah, and if you want to try my application, there is a link as well. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for your presentation. I don't have much experience with Flutter, so it was interesting to hear about your experience. But one thing I wonder about Flutter is how its open source community is built. Because if we compare to React Native, I don't think anyone from the community has commit access. So basically, Facebook doesn't merge many pull requests, and they end up just...
Yeah, I actually made some pull requests in Flutter by myself, fixing some AUS issue with authentication for like devices below 10.2, maybe. Yeah, so the framework built by Google, and they are open for pull requests, and they really do it. I mean, yeah, they build in it, they merge in it. It works fine. And I think the repository on GitHub now has about like 70,000 stars, which is like one of the biggest on GitHub at all, yeah. So I hope they do it well.
Flutter is written in Dart?
Yeah.
How is it to write it compared to Swift or Kotlin or other languages?
Yeah, actually, you know why I didn't really like React Native? Probably because I don't like JS. Yeah, that's one of the points. And here I thought, yeah, like one another React Native, but on Dart. Why are you doing that, right? And but I realized the Dart is kind of fine language. It's really similar to Swift and the Kotlin as well, yeah. And they have like nice tools like streams, which kind of like reactive from out of the box. And yeah, it has static typization if you need it. And yeah, the compiler like understand types properly. So I would say I started with Dart without like any specific courses. I just started writing on that because I knew Swift and Kotlin. Yeah, that was like amazing for me. And also seems like since last year the Dart community grown just because of Flutter, and they implemented a lot of new features in the language as well, just like in last year. So I hope it will grow in more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.